Maya Chen adjusted her ring light for the 100th time, determined to get the perfect lighting for her day in the life of a Tokyo middle schooler TikTok. She'd already filmed her morning routine, her bento box preparation, and her walk through Shibuya. Now, standing on the rooftop of her apartment building with the city skyline behind her, she was ready for the grand final. And that's why Japanese vending machines are literally the best thing ever invented. Maya froze mid-sentence as a shadow fell across her face. The ring light flickered. Behind her, the entire Tokyo skyline plunged into an unnatural twilight. She spun around, nearly dropping her phone. Where the sun should have been, a massive ship hung in the sky. A crystalline behemoth that looked like someone had taken 1,000 mirror-finished skyscrapers and twisted them into an impossible spiral. It pulsed with an otherworldly blue light that made her eyes water. "Oh my God," Maya whispered, her phone still recording. "Guys, are you seeing this?" The live viewer count exploded. 12,847, 15,000, 50,000, climbing faster than her follower notifications. Comments flooded in from around the world. Similar ships were appearing over New York, London, Mumbai, Sao Paulo, every major city on Earth. Maya's phone buzzed. Mom calling. General Sarah Chen never called during school hours unless, "Maya, get inside. Now." Her mother's military command voice cut through immediately. "Mom, there's a..." "I know. Emergency protocols. Move." As Maya ran for the stairwell, the alien ship pulsed brighter. Every screen in Tokyo, phones, billboards, TVs and shop windows, flickered to life with the same image. A being that looked like someone had carved a mantis from liquid mercury. When it spoke, the words bypassed Maya's ears and appeared directly in her mind, somehow perfectly translated. "Inhabitants of Earth, I am Commander Zixtar of the Galactic Council's 9th Enforcement Fleet. Your species has been evaluated for induction into our protectorate. You have..." The alien paused, consulting something off-screen with what might have been amusement. 30 planetary rotations to prepare your surrender. Resistance would be inadvisable. To demonstrate, a beam of pure white energy lanced from the ship. In the distance, Maya watched in horror as the abandoned city of Pripyat, site of the old Chernobyl disaster, simply ceased to exist. Where a city had stood, only a perfectly smooth, glass-lined crater remained. "We trust this demonstration suffices. Your leaders will receive our terms shortly." The transmission ended, screens returning to normal. Maya realized she'd caught the whole thing on TikTok. The viewer count had hit 2.8 million. In an underground bunker at the Pentagon, General Sarah Chen studied the alien scans with Dr. Marcus Rivera and his team. The readings made no sense. Their propulsion system violates 3 fundamental laws of physics, Dr. Rivera muttered, pushing his glasses up his nose. "But look at this. Their weapons, shields, everything else follows predictable patterns. It's like..." He paused, struck by a thought. "It's like they stopped innovating. The tech is incredibly advanced, but built on principles that haven't changed in how long?" General Chen demanded. "Judging by the quantum decay patterns, 10,000 years, maybe more." Sarah Chen stared at the data. Earth's combined military might look pathetic next to the alien armada, nuclear weapons against ships that could vaporize cities, fighter jets against faster-than-light craft. But if Rivera was right, "Doctor, I need options. Unconventional ones." "General, with respect, we're talking about a civilization that's mastered interstellar travel. What could we possibly..." "They're stagnant," she interrupted. "They've stopped growing, stopped learning. And if there's one thing humans excel at, it's adapting." Halfway across the world, Maya's video had gone super viral. #alien invasion and #30daystolive trended globally. But what caught everyone's attention wasn't just the alien appearance, it was what happened after. User comments flooded in. Did anyone else notice the alien looked confused when Maya's phone glitched? Guys, these ships movie ments. They're like NPCs in old games. Predictable patterns. My gaming squad could outmaneuver those flight formations drunk. Maya read the comments as she huddled in her family's emergency bunker. Something about the alien commander's dismissive tone, the way it had said inadvisable like a disappointed teacher, it sparked something in her. She opened a new video. Okay, TikTok, crazy thought. What if these aliens are like that kid who's been playing the same video game for years and thinks they're unbeatable, but they've never faced anyone who plays differently? What if Earth is about to speedrun an alien invasion? The likes poured in. Around the world, gamers, hackers, and strategists began to see what Maya saw. The aliens were advanced, yes, but they were also predictable, rigid, and maybe, just maybe, that was Earth's chance. The countdown had begun, but humanity wasn't preparing to surrender. They were preparing to break the game. Alex Cypher Kim hadn't slept in 48 hours. Empty energy drink cans formed a pyramid beside his jury-rigged quantum computer, a monstrous creation of cryptocurrency mining GPUs, liquid nitrogen cooling tubes, and more RGB lighting than a gaming convention. His Seoul apartment looked like a Best Buy had exploded inside a physics lab. Come on, he muttered, fingers flying across 3 keyboards simultaneously. On his screens, alien code scrolled past. Beautiful, elegant, and utterly predictable. It was like reading poetry written by a machine that had forgotten what creativity meant. The breakthrough came at 3:47 a.m., a gap in their firewall, not a vulnerability, exactly, but a place where their perfect security was too perfect. No chaos, no redundancy, no human messiness. Alex grinned and dove in. Inside the alien network was a digital paradise. Everything was organized, cataloged, structured. He found their entertainment systems first, millennia of what looked like the same 17 stories, retold with minor variations. Then their military protocols, formations that hadn't changed since humanity was still figuring out bronze. But what made Alex almost spit out his coffee was the betting pool. "You've got to be kidding me," he breathed. The aliens were taking bets on how long Earth would last. The current favorite, 4 minutes and 12 seconds, someone named Kix Theta had money on less than 1 metabolic cycle, whatever that meant. Furious, Alex started typing. If they wanted to underestimate humanity, he'd give them something to remember. 20 minutes later, chaos erupted aboard the Stellar Dominion. Commander Zixfo, the ship's youngest navigation officer, stared at his console in confusion. The food synthesis units are malfunctioning. Zixstar swept over, his crystalline form clicking with irritation. Define malfunctioning. They're only producing this. Zixfo held up something small and green. Around the command deck, similar vegetables were piling up everywhere. What is that? The human database calls it Brussels sprouts, sir. But that's not the worst part. Every screen on the bridge suddenly displayed the same thing. A human child doing something called a dance to primitive audio frequencies. The text read, "Never gonna give you up. Rick Astley." "Shut it down," Zixstar roared. But it was too late. The virus spread through their systems, replacing every audio file with something humans called Baby Shark. Navigational charts became lost.jpg. The weapons targeting matrix started playing what appeared to be a human courtship ritual called Fortnite dances. Meanwhile, in Earth's upper atmosphere, Lieutenant Rosa Martinez gripped her F-39 Phantom's flight stick as her squadron engaged the alien scouts. The briefing had been clear. Their technology was superior, their tactics ancient. "All right, Phoenix Squadron," she called over comms. "Remember your training. And by training, I mean forget everything and fly like you're playing Grand Theft Auto with cheat codes enabled." The first alien fighter swooped in, its movement a perfect parabolic arc calculated to maximize efficiency. Rosa yanked her stick hard right, then immediately reversed, pulling a move that would have failed her in flight school but dominated in arcade games. The alien ship sailed past, its pilot clearly confused. "They can't track random movements," she shouted. "Their AI expects logic, so be illogical. Be human." Phoenix squadrons scattered like drunken fireflies. They barrel-rolled unnecessarily, flew upside down for no reason, and one pilot literally drew a smiley face with his exhaust trail. The alien formation, programmed for thousands of years of civilized warfare, fell apart. Rosa lined up behind an alien fighter, its shield glowing confident blue. Instead of using her targeting computer, she eyeballed it, the way she'd learned playing ancient flight sims without auto-aim. The missile struck home. "Phoenix leader, this is ground control. You're outnumbered 20-1 up there." "Copy that. Control. Good thing these guys fly like NPCs on easy mode." She jinked left, avoiding a plasma bolt, then dove straight toward the alien capital ship. Its point defense was perfect, too perfect. Every gun tracked her logical escape routes. So she did the illogical thing, flew straight at them. The alien guns stuttered, confused. Their targeting algorithms couldn't process a pilot with an apparent death wish. Rosa grinned, waiting until the last second before releasing her payload and pulling up hard. The explosion was beautiful. Minor damage, but she'd made her point. Humans didn't fight by the rules. That's when her engine took a hit. "Phoenix leader, you're losing altitude." "I see it," Rosa grunted, wrestling with the controls. The alien mothership loomed below. She could eject, try to make it back to Earth's atmosphere, or she aimed for the hangar bay. The crash was spectacular. Rosa's fighter carved a burning furrow through lines of pristine alien craft before crumpling against a bulkhead. She popped the canopy, stumbling out with her sidearm drawn, face to face with a dozen alien soldiers. They stared at each other. The aliens, clearly, had never considered this scenario. No species was crazy enough to crash land on purpose. Rosa lowered her weapon slightly, managed a shaky smile. "Hey, nice ship. Mind if I look around?" Behind her, alerts blared as Alex's virus continued its rampage. Somewhere in the command center, Zixtar was learning that Brussels sprouts were apparently Earth's most powerful psychological weapon. Rosa's communicator crackled one last time before the aliens surrounded her. "Martins, if you can hear this, their tech is too perfect. Find the flaws in their perfection." She raised her hands in surrender, but her pilot's eye was already cataloging everything. The predictable patrol patterns, the standardized corridor widths, the fact that not one single alien had thought to search her for hidden weapons. They'd mastered the galaxy, but they'd never faced humans before. Dr. Keiko Tanaka was pulling weeds when the first people started dying. At 73, she'd traded her biochemistry lab for a rooftop garden in Kyoto, spending her retirement growing heirloom tomatoes and arguing with her neighbor about proper composting techniques. But as sirens wailed across the city and hazmat teams rushed past her building, something made her look closer at her plants. The hybrid tomatoes, those pretty, uniform ones from the garden center, were withering, their leaves turning black as if burned. But her grandmother's seeds, the ugly, misshapen heirlooms she'd saved for 60 years, stood untouched. "Peculiar," she muttered, putting on the reading glasses she pretended not to need. Inside the alien mothership, Rosa Martinez sat in a sterile white cell, watching her guard with interest. The alien, she'd started thinking of him as clicks for the sound his crystalline body made, seemed younger than the others. He kept glancing at her with what might have been curiosity if alien faces could show emotion. "So," Rosa said conversationally, "Brussels sprouts really mess you guys up, huh?" Clicks jumped, then made a sound like wind chimes in a blender, possibly surprise. "You? Speak." His voice resonated directly in her mind. "Yeah, weird, right? We humans are full of surprises. I'm Rosa, by the way." "I am Zixfo." He tilted his angular head. "You are not like the other species we've encountered." "Oh, How's that? You crashed your vessel. Deliberately. No species has ever. He stopped, seeming to realize he was fraternizing with the enemy. Rosa leaned forward. Let me guess. Every other species fought you the same way. Big ships, formation flying, honorable combat. Zixfo's silence was answer enough. Back on Earth, Dr. Tanaka had dragged her old microscope out of storage. The alien bioweapon was elegant. She had to admit that. It targeted specific genetic markers, unraveling DNA with surgical precision. But it was too elegant, too specialized. She checked her heirloom tomatoes again. Their DNA was chaos. Decades of open pollination, random mutations, genetic drift. The weapon couldn't find a stable target. Of course, she breathed. They'd never seen true biodiversity. Her granddaughter Yuki burst through the door, face mask askew. Grandma, you need to evacuate. People are dying. And why are you smiling? Yuki-chan, remember when you complained I never threw anything away? That I saved too many seeds. Dr. Tanaka was already pulling out dusty seed packets. Tell me, do any of your gaming friends know how to bypass government firewalls? Grandma, what? The cure is in our diversity, child. We need to tell everyone. Use heritage seeds, heirloom varieties, anything that hasn't been genetically standardized. And I need to upload this data before. She swayed, catching herself on the lab bench. Grandma, I'm fine. Just tired. Here. She thrust a flash drive into Yuki's hands. The synthesis formula. It needs to reach everyone. Use that game you're always playing. Fortnite. Yes, that one. Children trust each other more than governments. Go. Aboard the Stellar Dominion, chaos reigned. The Brussels sprouts had triggered mass dietary rejection. Baby Shark echoed through the corridors, and now sick crew members were arriving at medical bays. It's impossible, Chief Medical Officer Vixera announced. The biocleanser should affect all carbon-based life identically. But these humans, their genetic patterns are chaos incarnate. Zixstar stood rigid with fury. Explain. They've preserved genetic diversity we eliminated millennia ago. Recessive traits, dormant genes, random mutations. Their DNA is like Brussels sprouts, Rosa offered helpfully from her cell's video feed. Ugly, varied, and impossible to standardize. She convinced Zixfo to let her watch the medical reports. Purely for entertainment, she'd assured him. But what she saw confirmed her suspicions. The aliens had achieved perfection by eliminating variables. One genome, one culture, one way of thinking. You know, she said to Zixfo, who'd been assigned as her permanent guard, where I come from, we have a saying. Variety is the spice of life. Spice. He pronounced it carefully. Flavor. Excitement. Chaos. She grinned. You guys eliminated all your chaos, didn't you? Made everything perfect and predictable. Chaos is inefficient, Zixfo recited, but he sounded uncertain. Maybe. But it's also how we survive. My abuela used to save seeds from her garden every year. All different kinds. Ugly ones, weird ones, ones that barely grew. Drove my mom crazy. But when disease hit the commercial crops, Abuela's ugly tomatoes kept growing. On Earth, Yuki's message spread through gaming networks faster than any government broadcast could have managed. Fortnite players, Minecraft builders, Among Us crews, they all shared the cure formula, translating it into a dozen languages, converting measurements, creating memes to make it memorable. Hashtag Ugalai Vegetable Save Lives started trending. Dr. Tanaka collapsed into her chair, exhaustion finally winning. On her bench, the synthesis equipment hummed, producing dose after dose of the cure derived from heritage DNA. She'd done it, found the answer in the chaos of evolution itself. Grandma. Yuki had returned, tears streaming down her face. Did you share it? Everyone has it. Grandma, you're burning up. Good. Then my vegetables saved the world after all. She managed a smile. Your grandfather would laugh. Spent 40 years trying to make perfect tomatoes. Turns out, imperfection was what we needed. As Dr. Tanaka closed her eyes, her cures spread across the globe. In government labs, scientists marveled at its simplicity. In the alien ship, medical officers faced something they hadn't seen in 10,000 years: uncertainty. And in her cell, Rosa watched Zixfo study the medical data with growing fascination. Your species' biodiversity is remarkable, he admitted quietly. We never considered that perfection might be a weakness. Stick around, Rosa winked. Humans are full of weaknesses that turn out to be strengths. It's kind of our thing. Jamie Thompson had spent 15 years crafting Super Bowl commercials, but nothing had prepared him for this brief. Weaponize human culture against aliens who didn't understand irony. All right, team, he announced to the assembled group of memolords, comedians, and psychological warfare experts. The aliens have superior technology, but they have one fatal flaw. They take everything literally. Jenkins, what have you got? Jenkins, a 22-year-old who'd been pulled from Reddit's front lines, grinned. Sir, we've been analyzing their reaction to Cypher's Brussels sprouts attack. They can't process absurdist humor. I propose we hit them with surrealism. English, Jenkins. Deep-fried memes, sir. Lost.joke. Harambe. Things that make no logical sense but somehow contain meaning. Jamie sighed. This was his life now. The first wave launched at 800 hours. Every alien communication channel flooded with increasingly distorted images of a cat wanting cheeseburger. The aliens' universal translators crashed trying to parse "I can has cheeseburger" grammatically. On the Stellar Dominion, Commander Zixtar watched his crew descend into confusion. Sir, the humans are transmitting images of a deceased gorilla with the caption "Returns to Monk." Our anthropologists can find no strategic value. It's psychological warfare, Zixtar snapped, though privately he was baffled. Why would anyone wage war with deliberately misspelled text? Sir, there's more. They're sending something called rickrolling. And this. The screen showed a simple line drawing. Our computers have analyzed this image for 12 hours. It appears to be meaningless lines, yet the humans call it loss and react with extreme emotion. In her cell, Rosa tried not to laugh as Zixfo showed her the aliens' attempts to decode human memes. This one, he said, displaying a deep-fried image of a butter stick labeled bottom text. Our best analysts believe it's a chemical warfare formula. Oh no, Rosa said with a straight face. You've discovered our most powerful weapon. Please don't tell your commanders about bottom text. Zixfo leaned closer, his crystalline form shimmering with concern. I knew it. What does it mean? I could tell you, but Rosa glanced around conspiratorially. You'd have to answer some questions first. Like, why haven't your people developed any new technology in 10,000 years? Meanwhile, Maya Chen had become an accidental war correspondent. Her TikToks from the Tokyo bunkers had evolved into a global phenomenon. Today's video was special. Day 12 of the alien invasion. She began, her ring light somehow still perfect despite the circumstances. And guys, you're not going to believe this. The aliens are raging over memes. Like actually confused by dank memes. She held up her phone, showing leaked alien communications. Look at this. They spent 6 hours analyzing Stonk Sky. Their eye is in a recursive loop trying to understand why he's called Meme Man. The comment section exploded. Send them Gen Z humor. They'll surrender immediately. Hit them with the E-meme. Somebody LOPBABUE shark. That last comment gave Jamie's team an idea. Sir, Jenkins said slowly, what if we don't just send them memes? What if we give them earworms? 2 hours later, every alien ship in Earth's orbit was playing Baby Shark on repeat. The aliens couldn't turn it off. Alex's virus had evolved, learning from the aliens' own attempts to purge it. On the bridge of the Stellar Dominion, Zixtar's composed demeanor finally cracked. "Make it stop," he roared as "Baby Shark Do-Do-Do-Do-Do-Do" played for the 800th time. His tactical officer had resorted to physically destroying speakers, only to have the sound emerge from the ship's walls themselves. The crew's perfect discipline was fragmenting. Some had begun unconsciously moving to the rhythm. Others were trying to complete the song, hoping it would end. "Commander," his science officer reported, twitching slightly on Do-Do, "the humans have done something impossible. They've created information that damages minds without being explicitly harmful. It's genius. It's madness." "Perhaps madness and genius are related concepts," the officer suggested, then looked horrified at his own philosophical speculation. Rosa, watching the chaos through security feeds Zixfo had accidentally given her access to, felt almost bad for them. Almost. "You know," she told her guard, "humans have a saying. If you can't beat them, join them." Zixfo made a sound like crystalline laughter, the first time she'd heard an alien approximate humor. "You're suggesting we adopt your chaos. I'm suggesting you learn to laugh at it. Here, watch this." She pulled up a video on the screen. "This is called a cat video. Fair warning, your productivity will plummet." 5 minutes later, Zixfo was mesmerized by a cat failing to jump onto a counter. But why does it keep trying? It must know it will fail. That's the beauty of it. The cat doesn't care. It just keeps being a cat. "Being a cat," Zixfo repeated slowly, "simply existing as its nature dictates, regardless of efficiency." Now you're getting it. Earth's meme offensive reached its crescendo when someone at Jamie's team suggested the nuclear option, sending the aliens every variation of loss simultaneously. The geometric webcomic, stripped to its barest lines, became a fractal nightmare of meaning and meaninglessness. The alien fleet's formation began to waver. Ships drifted out of position as their crews tried to comprehend why 4 lines arranged in specific patterns could carry emotional weight. Zixtar received the reports with growing dread. His species had conquered countless worlds, faced down technological marvels and military might, but they were being undone by pictures of cats and deliberately terrible music. "Sir," his communications officer announced, "the humans are broadcasting a message. It's a small human child." Maya Chen's face appeared on the main screen, TikTok handle still visible in the corner. "Hey, alien friends. Maya here. Quick question. Have you guys tried just vibing? Like, your whole invasion thing seems super stressful. Maybe watch some cat videos. We've got millions. Literally millions." Also, someone in the comments wanted me to ask, "Do you know about Rule 34? Because..." Zixtar cut the transmission, but the damage was done. His crew was already looking up Rule 34. The war was about to take a very unexpected turn. Captain Bill Henderson had logged over 30,000 hours in space, but nothing in his astronaut training covered the current mission brief. "Turn Earth's orbital debris into kinetic weapons. You want us to throw garbage at them?" his co-pilot, Maria Santos, asked incredulously. General Chen's face remained serious on the comm screen. "Captain, you've spent 20 years complaining about space junk. Time to put it to use." Bill surveyed his crew, 6 satellite repair technicians, 2 former ISS maintenance specialists, and 1 sanitation engineer who'd won his spot by having the highest score in asteroids at the Cape Canaveral arcade. "Well," he drawled, "always said that defunct CEO of MSAT would hit something important someday." Operation Crazy Ivan launched at dawn. Earth's fleet consisted of 3 barely functional shuttles, a Chinese space station module that should have been decommissioned a decade ago, and whatever they could bolt rockets onto. "Henderson, you seeing this?" Maria pointed at the sensor display. The alien formation was perfect, too perfect. Every ship maintained exact distance, moving in synchronization like a cosmic ballet. "Like dominoes," Bill muttered. Then louder. All right, people. Remember, chaos is our friend. Ferguson, you still got that trebuchet program. The one that got me fired from JBL. Ferguson grinned. Yes, sir. Boot it up. Let's play orbital billiards. On the Stellar Dominion, Tactical Officer Kixlar watched the human vessels with amusement. Commander, the primitives are approaching with refuse collectors. Zixtar studied the readings. The human ships weren't even proper warships, just maintenance vehicles and obsolete equipment held together by what appeared to be duct tape. Let them come. It will be educational for the crew to see how inferior. Sir, they're launching to breathe at us. Launching. Zixtar moved to the tactical display. You mean firing? No, sir. Literally throwing. They've attached mass drivers to dead satellites and are flinging them in random patterns. The first impact was negligible, an old weather satellite bouncing off their shields. The second, a cluster of Soviet-era space junk, created a minor fluctuation, but the humans kept coming. They're not aiming for us, Kixlar realized. They're aiming for the debris field they're creating. Bill Henderson whooped as his calculations proved correct. Each impact created more fragments, which hit other fragments, which scattered into unpredictable patterns. The alien formation, designed for energy weapons and missile defense, couldn't adapt to what was essentially a three-dimensional game of pinball. Sanchez, he called to the sanitation engineer. Your turn. Sanchez had spent 6 months on the ISS dealing with their waste management system. Now he finally had a use for his expertise, releasing biological waste containers in 3, 2, 1. Decades of freeze-dried astronaut waste, sealed in metal containers, became high-velocity projectiles. The alien sensors, calibrated for weapon signatures, didn't even register them as threats until impact. In her cell, Rosa watched the battle with Zixfo. The young alien was making sounds she learned indicated stress. Your people fight with excrement. When you gotta go, Rosa shrugged. Though I bet your perfect sanitation systems never prepared you for weaponized space toilets. On the screen, an alien fighter's shield generator sparked and failed after being clogged with what the manifest listed as miscellaneous human waste. Expedition 47. This is impossible, Zixfo whispered. Warfare has rules, conventions, dignity. Yeah, we've got those too. We just ignore them when the planet's at stake. The tide turned when Henderson's crew discovered their secret weapon. Earth's most dangerous space junk wasn't satellites or debris. It was the Tesla Roadster Elon Musk had launched in 2018. Sir, we've got Starman on approach vector, Maria reported. The car. Still playing Space Oddity on repeat, sir. Bill grinned. Calculate trajectory for maximum psychological impact. The cherry-red sports car, space-suited mannequin still at the wheel, careened through the alien formation while speakers somehow still blasted David Bowie across all frequencies. The absurdity broke something in the alien mindset. Ships began breaking formation to avoid not the car, but the conceptual madness it represented. Who launched a ground vehicle into space for no tactical reason? Why was it still playing music? Was the mannequin a weapon? Commander, Kixlar's voice cracked. They're throwing food containers now. Thousands of them. The labels say, Tang, and freeze-dried ice cream. Zixtar watched his perfect fleet scatter as ancient MREs, dead smartphones, and commemorative mission patches created an expanding cloud of human detritus. His shields held, but his crew's composure didn't. Also, sir, that small human female is broadcasting again. Maya Chen's latest TikTok showed Earth's garbage fleet in action. Guys, we're literally winning a space battle with trash. My mom says it's kinetic warfare, but honestly, we're just really good at littering. Also, shout out to whoever launched that car. Alien ships are straight up running from a mannequin. The comments were gold. Earth, the galaxy's trailer park. One man's trash is another man's orbital weapon. Imagine losing a war to a Tesla. Henderson's crew was down to their last resort. The ISS's old Tranquility module, filled with 20 years of random equipment, personal effects, and one astronaut's extensive collection of rubber ducks. "This is for Earth," Bill announced, launching their final salvo. The module broke apart on impact, scattering its contents across the battlefield. Alien pilots, trained for millennia in honorable combat, found themselves dodging stuffed animals, exercise equipment, and, inexplicably, hundreds of yellow rubber ducks. Commander Zixstar watched his elite fleet, conquerors of 1,000 worlds, retreat in disarray from squeaky bath toys. "Sir," his science officer reported, voice hollow, "the humans appear to have won this engagement using garbage." Literal refuse. "This isn't warfare. This is chaos." "No," Zixstar said quietly, watching a rubber duck bounce off his viewport. "This is human." In her cell, Rosa high-fived Zixfo, who'd learned the gesture from her. "Welcome to Earth warfare, friend, where everything's a weapon and dignity doesn't matter." The young alien stared at the tactical display, then at Rosa, then back at the rubber ducks floating through space. "Your species is insane." "Yeah," Rosa grinned, "but it works." "Mom, I need your clearance code for the Pentagon server," Maya Chen said without looking up from her 6-screen command center. What had once been her bedroom now resembled mission control, with 30 other teens on video chat, all typing furiously. General Chen stared at her daughter. "Maya, why do you?" "Glitch King found a shield harmonic vulnerability, but we need processing power to model the exploit." Sarah Chen hesitated. In the month since first contact, the world had changed. Children playing games had become Earth's most effective analysts, their pattern recognition and problem-solving skills outpacing military supercomputers. "This is highly classified. But," she lowered her voice, "the Pentagon's been overrun with Brussels sprouts. We evacuated yesterday." Maya grinned. "I know. We're the ones who did it. Pentagon systems were too slow, so we liberated them." Across the globe, bedrooms had become war rooms. In Mumbai, 14-year-old Anya Patel led a team coordinating drone strikes by treating them like Minecraft builds. In Lagos, the Naija Warboys gaming clan operated a worldwide surveillance network through repurposed traffic cameras and doorbell apps. Marcus Glitch King Johnson, a lanky 16-year-old speedrunner from Detroit, had become their de facto weapons researcher. His specialty, breaking games by exploiting code errors. "Guys, it's like any other shield system," he explained, fingers flying across his keyboard. "Perfect code doesn't exist. There's always a glitch." His screen showed alien shield harmonics, beautiful patterns of energy that repeated with mathematical precision. To most observers, flawless. To a kid who'd spent 10,000 hours finding ways to clip through walls in video games, they were full of holes. "There," he pointed. "Every 4.3 seconds, when the shield cycles, there's a 0.02-second window where the pattern breaks. You could fit a projectile through that gap, but you'd need perfect timing." Maya finished. "Speedrunner timing." On the Stellar Dominion, Commander Zixstar watched the latest reports with growing concern. His ships were being picked apart by what appeared to be primitive projectiles that somehow bypassed their shields. "How are they targeting the harmonic fluctuations?" he demanded. "Those calculations require quantum supercomputers." His science officer shifted uncomfortably. "Sir, we believe they're using children." "Children? Human younglings, sir. Our intelligence suggests their fastest target acquisition and timing comes from individuals who haven't reached maturity." Zixstar struggled to process this. "They're using children as weapons." On her latest authorized communication with Zixfo, Rosa explained, "Not as weapons, as strategists. Human kids are wired for learning and play. Their brains make connections adults miss. But childhood is inefficient," Zixfo said, repeating his species doctrine. We eliminated it millennia ago. Our young emerge with downloaded knowledge, ready to serve. And that's why you stopped innovating. Rosa replied, no play, no innovation. Meanwhile, Maya's global network had mapped every alien patrol route, predicted supply lines, and identified command ships, all through pattern recognition skills honed in thousands of hours of gaming. Red Team, she called to her European division. Those fighters near Saturn have a 22-second loop. Exploit the gap. Blue Team, she directed her Asian contingent. I need server time for modeling shield resonance. Gold Team, to the Africans and South Americans. Keep the memes flowing. Distraction is key. The alien fleet, harried by perfectly timed drone strikes and inexplicable shield failures, began to retreat to more defensible positions. Every time they established a pattern, the humans exploited it. The aliens were used to fighting species that fought like them, with logic, efficiency, and predictability. These humans fought like children, chaotic, creative, and constantly changing tactics. But the real crisis came when Maya's mother was trapped on the front lines. General Chen's transport had been hit. Emergency protocols were failing. Maya watched her mother's biometrics flatline on her monitor. Mom, she screamed. No response. Around her, the Teen Command Network fell silent. Glitch King, she said, her voice suddenly cold and precise. I need that shield exploit. Now. Maya, it's not ready. No. Marcus sent the code. Maya plugged it into her model and transmitted it to every drone Earth had. The information flowed through her network. Optimal shield penetration angles, precise timing windows measured in milliseconds, trigger points that could cascade shield harmonics into total failure. 20 million miles away, General Chen's disabled transport drifted toward an alien destroyer. Commander Zixstar himself commanded the vessel, intending to capture this high-value human military leader. Bring her aboard, he ordered. Perhaps she can explain her species' madness. That's when every alien shield in the solar system flickered and failed, if only for 3 seconds. But 3 seconds was all Earth needed. Drones and missiles, poised and waiting, struck with perfect timing. A global attack orchestrated by children with gaming reflexes. The alien destroyer's bridge erupted in chaos as emergency systems failed. Who is commanding this? Zixstar demanded as his ship shuddered. The answer came on his main screen, a tear-streaked teenage girl with determination burning in her eyes. This is Maya Chen. You have my mother. Return her, or I'll show you what happens when you mess with a kid who's completed Dark Souls without taking a single hit. Zixstar stared at the screen, then at his tactical display showing coordinated attacks with timing so precise it seemed impossible. Sir, his officer whispered, these children, they're playing a game. But the game is us. In her cell, Rosa watched the entire exchange through Zixfo's eyes. The young alien turned to her, his crystalline form trembling. Your younglings fight for their parents. The concept seemed to disturb him deeply. Family, Rosa said simply. Another chaotic thing you guys got rid of. And these? Games. They train for war without knowing it. Rosa smiled. No adult would spend 10,000 hours perfecting a useless skill just for fun. But kids, that's what childhood is for. The alien finally understood why Earth couldn't be conquered. Not because of their technology or numbers, but because their children played.